Hey, it's Dr. Faith, your personal life coach. I am just stopping in to wish you a triumphant 2022 year. I hope that your year is off to a great start. And I'm sure you're inundated with a lot of different challenges and opportunities to grow. You're writing those affirmations. You're making sure you're declaring and speaking over your life. I know that you have those SMART goals in play and you're strategic about how you're going to achieve those short-term, long-term goals, right? You have your accountability partner in place and you're checking in and you're making sure that you check off every accomplished goal. I know you started with those resolutions and you have resolved to not do this and resolved to do this. So, how's it going? Don't worry. If you don't have some of those things in place and you may think to yourself and feel bad, I don't want you to feel bad. The bottom line of those 6 different activities I named is that you are saying something. So in 2022, I'm just here to remind you to say something. Be mindful of what you're saying. When you are feeling, when you are experiencing, the power of your words can shift your entire environment. The power of your words can shift your entire mood because it starts with your thought. It starts in your mind. It comes from your heart. The word of God says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. The word of God also says, as a man thinks, so is he. So these 2 pieces of organs here in our body is so very important. If you're feeling a certain kind of way, take a pause and evaluate, why am I feeling this way? Especially if it's not a positive feeling. Where did this evolve from? Where did this come from? Resolve to do your heart checks this year. I've learned to pause, slow down and say, how are you feeling about this, Faith? Does this make you feel comfortable? If not, what do you need to do to feel comfortable and solid about this situation? I've learned to check in with myself because if I'm not checking in with me, who's going to check in with me daily, day in and day out? And when I trace what causes me to feel a certain way, I tap into the power that God has given to me to speak those things that be not as though they were. And I have to adjust my feelings, my emotions, and I have to start declaring and I have to start speaking over my life, speaking over the situation that is at hand. If I have a thought that does not produce good feelings, does not produce a positive outlook, I have to arrest that thought. And I have to formulate new thoughts and replace them. Because if I don't, our mind will run amok. And we honestly don't have time for that in 2022. So I'm taking you back to the basics. I'm reminding you to check in with your heart. Make sure that you are good. It's enough things going on in this world that you want to make sure that you are taking the prime care of yourself. And if something is happening here that produces a certain emotion, that produces a certain attitude, that produces a certain feeling, I want you to address it immediately. Shift what you're thinking, and I need you to say something that is positive and that is in alignment with what God says about your life. What God says about you. You shall not fail. You will not die. You will live. You will be triumphant. You will overcome. You'll be victorious in this particular situation. What are you saying about your life, about your situation? So I want to remind you to say something. And that thing that you say, make sure it's in alignment with what God says concerning you. You're the apple of his eye. Before this world was even formed, God had you and knew you by name, and he called you to do great things. And I want you to know that everything in your life that's happening now, God has orchestrated to work for your good. It may not feel good all the time. It may not look good all the time. You may not know the beginning from the ending, but God has everything worked out. So be mindful. Sit back before you react, before you say something that you're going to regret, before you say something that totally contradicts with what God has already said concerning you. How about you focus solely on saying and coming in agreement with what God has already said concerning your life? I can't say it's that simple because I know to unlearn something is the most challenging thing to do. But I'm here to challenge you as your life coach and to give you the necessary tools to help you be successful. So let's go back to our heart checks and let's check in. How are you feeling? How are you doing? What's causing you to feel this way? Okay, what's causing you to believe and to think what you're thinking about yourself and this situation? And I need you to immediately address it. Address it with the word of God. Address it with what God has already said concerning your life. And in doing so, it will help you undo those negative experiences and replace them with positivity and replace them with hope, replace them with faith, replace them with just total belief and surrender that each and every day God's got you. So, Dr. Faith here, just checking in. I know you're probably working out a whole great plan. That's wonderful, but I'm here to remind you to say something and make sure the thing that you say is in complete alignment with what God says concerning you. That's it. You guys be blessed until next time.